Chip's just gonna he's gonna avoid the bear trap, and he's gonna come over here underneath the light.
So that would actually be a pillar. You're like leaning up against a pillar. Oh no,
Really?
no, it's not. Never mind. Yeah, you're underneath the light. Sorry, I thought it was a pillar.
And just kind of like using the light to see this Boggle. He's gonna say, it, it, it can't be you. You're not my brother.
Um,
Uh, you're just getting in my head. You're just getting in my head, and I'm just gonna keep walking over here. There's no way it can be my brother. It's not my brother. It's not my brother.
when you say that, as your back is turned and you walk away, the Boggle hops down off the pillar, but is still floating about 6 inches above this empty pool, and he kind of like wisps through the air, guiding himself. He's literally holding his nose like this and pulling himself by the nose, and as he kind of floats through the air, his feet drag behind him, just basically barely grazing the surface of this seemingly empty, dried pool. And he gets to the edge of this, cylindrical room, drain hole chamber, whatever you want to call it. And he lands on his feet, and you just hear as the sticky, slimy foot pads make contact with the cold, wet concrete tiles. And he taps you on the back with his sticky, slimy, oily finger, and he says, "It's me, brother."
You see, if you haven't seen family in a while and you've changed a lot, it's always, do you see, Happy? This is why I don't want to talk to my parents right now.
It's all right now. I understand.
Things change. It gets uncomfortable and awkward.
Your mom has not turned into a Boggle.
So, Chip, you've been tapped on the back, and you feel this strange sensation. What do you do? Did he mute? Oh, sorry.
He's gonna slowly turn around and be like, if you're my brother, what's his full name?
And that's when he kind of crouches down and puts his shoulders up really high, and he goes, and he starts to pick his nose, and he sticks his finger way up in his nose, and he's like, and he shoots like a loogie down on the ground, and he says, name is Swayze, Patrick, and Dale.
All
You
right.
need another hug, Chip.
How long you were? This is. Chip is like he just doesn't. His mind is like lost. He can't fathom, nor does he understand why this has happened to his brother. How the horrific transformation from that like wandering ogre like tree creature to turned into this. His mind is completely unable to grasp just any of it.
I don't know, Chip. I'm not convinced yet. Ask him something only your brother would know, but he might be reading your mind, so make sure it's something you don't know.
Chip gets ready to ask a question, and then he stops, and then looks at Mel, and he's like, "Huh?"
So the Boggle struggles for a minute because he's just confused, and everybody around him is talking to him and not, assaulting him, which is something he's not used to. And he suspiciously looks around, and he kind of goes, "Oh!" And he like ducks his head, expecting to be smacked when you turn around. And he says, "Oh, close one." And he pats about his chest, and you see him. He kind of like spreads some of his like oily black chest hairs aside, and then you see him peel something up from his chest. And as you look at this, Chip and Jaren, you would see this. Avina, you may notice from behind, and Harvey as well. He starts to peel this thing up from his chest, and you notice that underneath the surface of this purple, black, inky, slimy, sticky goo is the remnants of a red and green and white flannel shirt. And he's actually pulling open a shirt pocket in his flannel shirt. And out of the shirt pocket, he pulls out a small trinket. And the trinket is a woodcutter's token from the guild back in Lycanstone.
Yeah.
And he puts the challenge token out in his hand, and like he kind of lifts it up to you, and he says, "No, challenge."
Chip takes a step back.
And then when you step back from the Boggle, he rubs the token again on his shirt, trying to get it clean, and he goes, and as he does, like strings of this oily black slime spittle out of his mouth, and he looks at it, he says, "Oh, it's clean."
What's this what's this creature like wearing? You said he's like wearing like flannel like shirt. With,
So
like,
when you initially look at him, he's all black and purple.
Like, does he look like my brother?
No. So the only thing discernible about him to being Swayze would be his jawline. He has this perfectly manicured square jaw with just this excellent cleft in it. I mean, it's basically like a Gaston chin.
It's a family mark. Dude.
Oh yeah, it's the
everybody in
chin.
the family has one,
and he has a bit of a smolder. So like just like you, he's got that look in his brow.
Damn.
It's just a deep pool. It's like the clothes that he's wearing are completely submerged under this black coating that just oozes from his skin. So when he pulled the shirt out, it was kind of like if you were covered in mud and then like you lifted your shirt out of the mud you were covered in. That's what that's when you were able to see he does have a flannel shirt on, but he's not wearing pants or shoes.
Chip, he like pauses for a second, and he sees, he kind of sees this creature in what it's presenting itself as. After when the token was pulled from the pocket, and like when he said challenge, that sold it. That's like Chip knows that this is Swayze, and immediately Chip comes down, like kind of like moves forward and then like comes down a little bit and like takes like a knee, and then like reaches out and like holds like kind of grabs like the from underneath on the hand, like holding the button. So I kind of get the oil on my hands a little bit. Like,
Okay.
Chip doesn't really care about it.
So you take the challenge token from Swayze.
Yeah, and like he takes his right hand and he like pulls it out of his the challenge token out of Swayze's hand, and he says, "What do you need me to do?"
And that's when he basically pantomimes to you. He points to your back, and I'll let you come up with a name for it out of game. But he points to your glaive that you have strung across your shoulder, and he goes, "We do 'em smash slash." Sorry, that just cracked me up. Sorry. So after he points at your glaive, he kind of like motions that he's like chopping wood. So it's basically like from one woodcutter to another. He's given you his challenge coin, and he said, "Yeah, I'm your brother. I'm in the Woodcutters Guild in Lycanstone, and I've challenged you to a lumberjack contest." Like, that's the way he's trying to relate to you, human to Boggle, with his memory. So you've taken this challenge token from Swayze, and he says, "We play Smash Slash."
All right. Chip, within, with the hand that he was like holding, underneath his brother's hand, he like put it on his brother's shoulder and say, "It's it's one hell of a way to see you. You feeling okay?
Honey, can you turn it down just a notch?
You still in there?"
When you say, "Are you feeling okay?" as you have your hand on his shoulder, he kind of puts his hands up to his head and starts like boxing his own ears. And he's just, I'm not going to do it because my headphones are on, but he's like literally like smacking himself in the head, and he's like, "Gotta get to the boss. Yep. Swayze. You do it. You do what I say, Swayze. Yes, boss. I do what you says. You oh boy, where we at?" And then he like focuses back on you for a second, and like the clarity comes back, and he looks at you, and Swayze's looking at you again.
I'll never understand that disgusting woman's taste.
If Chip doesn't mind, Jaren would like to ask Swayze a question. Is that okay? Chip.
He might have gone AFK. Is he muted?
I've literally been talking for like 5 minutes.
Jeez. All right.
No
So
BS. That sucks.
it's
'Cause
all
I've
good.
literally been trying to roleplay with like Jared
It's okay.
after he did what he did.
Yeah. So
Like
confused.
asking.
Swayze beat himself in the head confusingly, and then he had this two-way dialogue where he was pretending to be the boss talking to him, and him basically explaining he was going to follow the boss's commands.
Yeah, so what I actually said was, but you didn't hear it. I said, Chip would turn to his brother and say, would it be okay if we asked you a few questions? Hopefully it doesn't cause you any harm. You hurt your head. Jaren, be my guest.
I was like, I lean down to the bottle. I'm like, Swayze, I know that you can't talk about your master, but in your service to her, have you seen a little girl named Laura?
You ask if he's seen a little girl named Laura.
Yeah.
All right. So, Swayze looks around suspicious, and he kind of like darts eyes back and forth between you and Chip, and he ducks again. He goes, "Whoa. And then he says,
You okay?
And then he looks around again more suspiciously, and he leans forward real close, and he says, "No. No.
Can he give me any more detail? And no.
You can roll insight on that.
I was gonna say, you're just gonna believe that?
So, you guys are trusting this strange magical failing quite a lot. There's been like no insight checks. No, I'm just playing.
Checks
It's all,
out.
you know. Hey, Mel likes it. It's like the Mikey test. If Mel likes him, everybody likes him.
I don't need to.
My passive insight is a 19.
No, it's all good, dude. I'm not lying to anybody. Swayze's being authentic right now. So he.
Swayze just said yes and then no. So yeah, that's authentic.
So. Y'all kill me, man. And Wes, I promise you, Wes, we'll get to some action here in just a minute.
Well, I want to do something before we do anything.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, he's about to kill my Boggle brother.
Don't do it. I'll cry.
We're not going to kill you, Boggle, unless we have to.
I don't know. I might.
Oh, fuck. All right. So, jeez.
Hey, real quick, Ryan, just for your benefit, that roll that I made indicates that after like 5 turns, Mel is going to absent-mindedly lean against the northmost lever on that panel and push it to the left without meaning to.
Okay.
Awesome.
Can I do something?
Awesome. Yes. Let's do that real quick. So we'll pause the response from Swayze to Jeremy.